Hey guys, Ozzy back. How you doing? So here we are, back in New York, or still in New York. Um, so as I've told you guys, we are going home next week. We have approximately a week left here in the city. Lauren is going to see the doctor on Wednesday, and that will probably be the release. We're assuming. Nothing indicates that it won't be. And once she gets released, then we prep, and then when it's time, we go home. Nice thing about that part of the release is it means we won't have to deal with going to the doctor. And when we're ready to go, we can just go. It is going to be a couple days probably between when she gets released and we actually go home. The plan is to catch an Uber here in the city, Uber to the train station, hop on our train. We're going to get to about halfway there. Actually, when we get there, we're going to call the Red Caps, and they're going to help us with the luggage, because as when we came in, we had 5 bags. I was having 2, Lauren had 2, and then we had our Ninja Foodie that I was carrying. But she's not going to really be able to help as much because of the surgery. So we're going to have a Red Cap meet us at the train station, get us from the door into the train. When we get approximately somewhere around halfway home, we have to stop and change trains. We have to go across the platform and change trains because they're switching from one type of motor to another. So like from an electrical to a diesel. So because of that, we have to switch trains. So what the plan is with that is I'm going to go out with Lauren and a few of the bags, get her over to the other train and seated, get those bags in, go back to the first train, get the last of the bags, come back over, get on the train, get myself situated, then we'll take off home. When we get to the train station closer to home, the plan is to probably get an Uber back to our house. Again, the Uber driver can help me get the bags out of the car and just onto our property. And I can get Lauren in and then take my time getting stuff into the house from there. But the initial thing of just getting everything together and out of the car is going to be the thing. And then once we get in and she gets settled, that's when we are going to have time to look around and see what needs to be done around the house, what I need to get for food and stuff, because obviously, like I said, we were going for a month, actually 5 weeks we've been. So I knew that 9/10 of the stuff in the fridge would be no good. Some of the stuff in the freezer would probably not be any good, and any perishable stuff that wasn't fridge or freezer had to be chucked. So we did a big clean out the day before we left. We threw a bunch of stuff away. We got rid of just a ton. So we're going to have to replenish that stock when we get home. And also we're going to have the kids coming back. And by the looks of the current parenting schedule, we're going to have the kids for like 11 days straight. So I'm going to need to make sure I've got enough food for all 6 people for every meal for at least 11 days. Now, yeah, Instacart will be used, and maybe buying everything in one fell swoop isn't going to happen. But I need to have that plan in my head. I need to start planning meals of what I'm going to cook so I can make a comprehensive list so that we can go through and order things on Instacart that we're really going to need to make sure the house is up and running. And like I said, with the kids coming back and going to have them for 11 days straight, that's really good because they really missed us being gone. So it's really going to be good for them to have us back home and be able to spend time with them again. I did promise them that we're going to be working on the pool, so one of my first things to do when I get home, one of my first projects, I should say, to do when I get home, is going to be going out with the kids and maybe even calling up my dad and having him come up to the house and get that pool cleaned out, empty what water's left in it and clean it out, And then Lauren and I are thinking of just calling a company, like a pool company, that can just fill it. Because they'll get it done and over with. We won't have to run our water for like 2 days straight. Yeah, monetarily it costs a little bit, but the convenience of it is good. Because also, if I want to take care of the thing, because obviously the kids are going to want to get in as soon as humanly possible. And to be honest, after some of the weather we've had, I wouldn't mind getting in myself. So I might actually even go and pick up a solar cover to put on the pool. That'll help it warm up and get to that warmer temperature quicker. And we've had one before when I lived with my parents, and we had the pool, we had a solar cover, and we loved it because on hot days the water was warm. It wasn't freezing cold, but it felt nice. But then at night, especially on those nights where it was just that kind of steamy night, you got in, water was so nice, and when you got out, it was so close to the temperature of the outside that you didn't get that shock of getting out and going, oh, you just felt good. It was comfy getting in and out of the pool. And if the kids are going to want to spend pretty much all summer in the pool, which I know they will, I don't want to be getting in and out of a freezing cold pool for me, and I really don't want them doing it. And if Lauren's going to be up to getting up and getting in, I definitely don't want her going into a freezing cold pool. Yeah, I'm going to have to watch the chemicals a little bit closer because of that warmth. I have to watch the pH and things like that to make sure we don't have algae or anything growing. But that's fine. I've done this before. I was the one who did most of the pool maintenance at my parents' house when I lived there because I was the one who was in it like every day. Dad was working. I was in school. I was off for the summer. So I spent every day in the pool. My sister didn't go in as much. She didn't like going up the ladder. She is a little bit afraid of heights, which is fine. I mean, everybody's got their own thing. But that just meant that a lot of times I was out in the pool by myself. So I would put my stereo out the window, play my music in my backyard, lay on a float or just float around in the pool with no float and just chill for however long I decide to be out for. And I loved that growing up, and I want the kids to have that too. You know, now that I've got stepdaughters, I want them to have those same fun memories that I have from when I was a kid. And actually, Abby's about at the age that I was when we first moved into the house and when we first started getting our own pool and having our own property. So it's going to be fun to, now that I'm in that position to be a dad myself, it's going to be fun to watch how many things I do because of what my parents instilled into me. And like, as we were talking yesterday, Lauren and I was talking to my buddy Tom. I've talked about him on here before. He is currently my worker at the Carson Center for Traumatic Brain Injury, but he's also a very good friend. And I'm sure when the Carson Center is done and over with, him and I will be able to hang out more and actually, you know, spend time together as friends as opposed to him being just my worker. And when that happens, you know, there's going to be a lot of like hanging out at each other's houses and stuff like that. He's a really great guy. And he's a divorcee. And he's not just a dad, he's a stepdad as well. So when I have that need of stepdad advice, you know, not just advice on kids, because if I just want advice from a dad, I'm going to go to my dad 9 times out of 10 because he raised me and he raised my sister. And he raised my sister after having his head injury. So raising a child, especially a female child, after a head injury is kind of his forte. He's been there, he's done that. So, and my sister's 8 years younger than I am. So there was a part of my childhood where my dad had the head injury, but my most formative years were already kind of in the can. I was 8 years old at the time, the age of my youngest. So, you know, most of my growing up was done for personality and stuff like that, but my sister grew up with him fully. And the kids are only going to know me since the head injury because Lauren and I didn't know each other before this past year. So the kids won't know anything of me from prior to my head injury. But I'll be able to ask my dad the questions that I need to know from a father standpoint. But he can't answer questions from a stepfather standpoint. So that's why Tom is actually another really good person to have in my arsenal, because I can go to him with those questions of, as a stepdad, what should I do in this particular situation? And he can give me a little bit more insight because he's probably either been in that situation, or if he hasn't, he might know because of similar situations how he can give me an idea of what to do. So we were talking to him yesterday and talking about everything coming up, you know, and he was very excited to hear how we're going home and how he's going to get a chance to hang out with us and everything. And he kind of gave me some of that sage advice, you know, with everything going on and everything. Obviously, you don't want to buy the kids' affection, but at the same time, you want to give them everything you can, and everything that you either had growing up or everything that you didn't have growing up that you want your kids to have more than you. So we were kind of talking about it and joking because I was saying how I was getting ready to get the pool ready and everything. And I said that I couldn't live, I don't think, in a place without a pool anymore, especially a house. I mean, obviously an apartment, you're kind of constricted to what you have. But at a house, I would definitely want a house with a pool. And I didn't really think about it at the time. I've always been a water baby, even though I'm a Sagittarius, which is a fire sign. I've always been a water baby. But from the time I was 7 years old, we had moved to Southwick. And it was from Pittsfield that we moved to Southwick. Now, Southwick is known for its lake, Lake Congamon. That's the entire pull of Southwick. It's a resort community that is centered around the lake. Now, it is a town, and it has become more of a year-round living area, but the main draw of Southwick is Congamon Lake. And I lived a couple 100 feet up from Congamon Lake. So the lake was always there. It was always right down the road from me. Obviously, anyone who lives on Congamon right now, or who knows about living on a lake, knows that sometimes the water isn't the best. Sometimes it's brackish. Sometimes it's got that gross smell, and you don't want to go swimming in it. It's nice to live on the lake and to go out boating and stuff, but you don't always necessarily want to swim in the lake. So a lot of us who live in a lake community do end up having, instead, a pool in our yard for our swimming. It's not the same as like Lauren. Lauren grew up in Ipswich. Now, for anybody who doesn't know, Ipswich is a coastal town on the northern part of Mass. Northeastern, so out on the Atlantic. It's a really nice town. I've been out there a couple times with her. But it's a seaside town. It's a beach town. People go to the ocean. They go to the beach. You spend pretty much your entire summer you spend at the beach in a community like that. Like I said, in my community, you were out on a boat or you had a pool in your yard and you were in your pool. I can't picture at this point in my life living in a place and not being able to go swimming, not having that accessibility. My parents, yes, we didn't have a pool for the last time when I was there because it was too much to take care of, and blah, blah, blah. But I had friends who had pools that I could go and swim at. The lake was right down the street. I could go anytime I wanted. There was nothing restricting me from being able to swim during swimming season. It was always available. Whether I did it or not was my own choice, but it was always there. I could always do it if I chose to. And I want the kids to have that same thing. I want them to be able to, at any point throughout the day, if they want to go swimming, be able to go swimming. With the 4 of them, it's going to make it difficult sometimes, because that's going to mean I'm not going to be able to be inside working on this, or down in the cellar doing things that I need to do for the channel. But that's fine, because I'm pumping out as much content as possible with the anticipation that these next 11 days might be a little bit difficult. And that's perfectly fine. I will take time when I can to shoot videos. I'm not going to leave you guys hanging. You're not going to go 2 weeks without a video on this channel. I can promise you that. I will be posting. I will keep this going, but it might not be the every other day or so that I sometimes do. It might not be but 1 video a week instead of my usual couple or more videos a week. But like I said, with me going home, there is the potential for different kinds of videos as well. I can shoot those grocery shopping haul. I can shoot videos of me cooking. So I can stitch stuff together. I can make a nice video of different things because I'll have everything available to me. Here, yeah, I've had a lot of time to just sit around and really not do a lot, other than when I'm running errands and, you know, doing what little bit of cleaning has to be done for that time. Then there's not a lot for me to do here. I'm not at home. I can't take projects on, like cleaning out the pool, getting an area ready for the trampoline, making sure the kids are finishing up their schooling for these next days until school ends, doing all of that kind of stuff that I normally would do at home, working on stuff for the channel. I just have not been able to do it, so I'm doing what I can when I can. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this little vlog session. Just trying to do something new while I'm here. The vlog will probably continue when I get home, but if you guys haven't already, please go down and right here, click the like button, then click the subscribe button, which is over about here, and then over here you're gonna find that bell icon. Click on that so you get notified whenever I put up new content. If you're looking for content that's more stoner related or something like that, check out my other channel. It's called Transcendent by Ozzy. That's Transcendent by Ozzy, O-Z-Z-I-E, not O-Z-Z-Y, O-Z-Z-I-E for Ozzy. You'll find that channel. Maybe I'll even put a link to it right down below in the comments today. Guys, if you're into that kind of stuff, check that out. Watch some of the videos there. If you like it, subscribe there. Do the same thing there as you're doing here. Guys, I hope you guys had a great day. I hope you enjoyed my little rant here. And I'll be shooting another video soon. So I'll see you guys soon. Oz out.